Like, do you have any other views? Like, are you like a? I mean, do you believe in God?
Well, I'm agnostic.
Oh, okay, so the answer is no.
Well, no. It's not. Something is going on. I just don't know what it is.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, presumably, agnostic is just somebody who's not convinced that God exists, and they're also not convinced that God does not exist. Unless you are using the term differently, or?
I believe that it's impossible to know who the creator of the universe is.
What? Impossible in what modality?
I don't know what you mean by modality. I mean, in terms of just like the standard for
Okay. Like it's. So let's circle. Okay, there's 2 points here. I want to go back. Let me just get the first one clear. What do you think an agnostic is?
It's someone who believes that it's not possible to know.
And then when you say it's not possible to know who the creator of the universe is, what do you think? Okay, when I say modality, I just mean, for example, are you saying it's logically impossible, physically impossible, epistemically impossible?
Epistemically impossible.
When you say it's epistemically possible, how are you cashing that up?
Saying it's impossible.
No, I understand. So, like, there's different ways. So, for example, epistemically impossible, one way can be cashed out as saying, like, P contradicts something that's in my set of beliefs. Another way it can be cashed out is like, P contradicts with some belief that I know to be true. So, like, how are you cashing out epistemically impossible there?
Well, just the fact that you weren't there, right? Like, anything that happened before you were born will never be knowledge. It will always be belief.
Sorry, by epistemically impossible, you just mean it happened before you were born?
In terms of the difference between knowing and believing, yeah.
So when you say knowing the creator of the universe, knowing the creator of the world is epistemically impossible, you're just saying that God created the world before you were born? Like, that's what you're saying?
In the sense that it will always just be a claim. You'll never actually know. Yeah.
Wait, now you're not. No, now you're not following. You said by epistemically possible. You just meant the event occurred before you were born. Are you saying something different now?
No, I mean, I guess that sounds right. I mean, what else?
Wait, are you sure that's correct? Like, just make sure I'm getting it right. So, by epistemically impossible, you just meant like when you say P is epistemically impossible, are you saying is that P happened before you were born?
In order to actually know something and not just
not answering.
Yes, it is. It is answering.
No, so when you say P is epistemically possible, yes or no, are you just saying that P happened before you were born?
I'm saying you will always ever believe, you'll never know.
It's not like, and the question is, when you say P is epistemically impossible, are you just saying that P happened before you were born?
Has anybody told you you're autistic and you sound like a computer?
Can you answer my question?
I have answered your question.
Was your answer yes or no?
I have answered your question.
Was it yes or no?
I don't believe you're vegan.
Was your answer yes or no?
I think you're a deliberately difficult person.
Was your answer yes or no?
And you're a child.
Is your goal just to like dodge my question deliberately, or I don't know?
Well, my goal is to tell you how much of a child you are, right?
Because you can if you want to run away, like whatever, maybe you realize you're saying like dumb things and you realize that you're embarrassing yourself.
I'm smart.
Like if you want to answer, you can also do that. All right, so the question, to be clear, is when you say P is epistemically impossible, are you just saying that P occurred before you were born?
Persuasive, right?
When you say P is epistemically impossible, are you just saying P happened before you were born?
Anyways, I want to hear more about you being vegan, right? Like, I don't believe.
Get on mute, retard. Ha ha.
Oh, by the way, if your answer was yes, that would actually commit you to saying something like, just any, like the Holocaust is epistemically impossible. What else would you say?
Yeah. His parents named him before he was born.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody uses the term that way. But like, if you say no, then I'm happy to clarify what you mean.
It's knowledgeably impossible to know, bro.
I guess the Holocaust never happened, man. I don't know what to say.
Okay, but that's knowledgeably impossible, okay?
Yeah, so the Holocaust never happened.
I just don't want to deal with retards, too. I'm just kind of annoyed right now. So, I was in a good mood until I started talking to him. Wait, Erik, do you want to try getting an answer do you want to talk to him for a second?
Maybe on a different topic.
All right, let me mute in 1 second.
You guys don't have to take turns being Jewish. We could talk about something else.
Yeah, talk to Eric.
Wait, on what?
I don't know. He probably will say some other dumb thing. Wait, telepathy. What other views do you hold? Now he's like too frightened to talk. Never mind.
Wait, Telepathy, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Oh, okay. The guy was asking if you had any other views.
I do, but I don't want to talk about it with him. He's too much of a child that wants to do this autistic computer definition of things. And
What do you mean? He just asked you what you mean by possible. What modality? And you're like, I don't know what a modality is. He's like, is it logically possible? Is it physically possible? Then you called him autistic, and then you stopped.
Sorry, but I'll talk about him. I'll talk about him with other views, or about his other views if he has other views. Wait, what other views do you have? I'll talk with you.
well, I'm vegan. Have you ever thought about going vegan?
By the way, Bob the Goat, you want to be a mod here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Black
Do you have any
representation.
views? Do you have any views other than being vegan? Sorry.
Yeah, I think that we're living in a social control regime, right? And it's very easy for the individual to see this without an appeal to authority because Walmart, right? Like you see that Walmart is staffed by people and it's not a vending machine. I'm saying that over 100 years into old hat established businesses, we should have had vending machines by now. And the fact that we
What the
don't
fuck is this guy talking about?
social control regime.
You're trolling.
No, I'm not sure if I fully tracked all that.
So there's a social control regime because Walmart isn't fully automated with vending machines for groceries or something.
Yeah. Can you tell me why Japan has so many more vending machines than America if it's not like viable business model type thing?
I don't know.
So
Business model viability here. Maybe they just happen to make more fucking vending machines. I don't know what kind of argument this is.
you're saying that we ought to have more vending machines?
Yes, if it's a
Okay, wait. And that's like true, right?
yes, in a
Okay, yeah. Bob, that's cognitivism. You should debate him on non-cognitivism versus cognitivism.
Nice try. Nice
in a
try.
for-profit competitive system,
Come on, Bob. Debate him.
maximize return on investment.
Yeah, that's cognitivism.
Ooh, Bob.
This guy's like so stupid and annoying.
Are you a minarchist?
Wait, someone muted him.
Someone muted me. Oh no.
Are you a minarchist?
Yeah, I believe in minarchism. I think we should have a steps to minarchism. We shouldn't do it like tomorrow, but like we should prepare for tomorrow, right? And it's not too controversial, I believe.
Do you have a theory of property?
Property rights, yeah. The ownership of the body, right? I own my body, you own your body. Through voluntary exchange, we can come up with contracts and all that kind of stuff, right?
Do you have a view on like what the conditions are for like owning a resource, for example?
What do you mean?
Like, there's theories that want to say different things about when it, like how you come to own property. Like some people want to say, oh well, happens through homesteading. Other people want to say, oh well, and maybe they take on some egalitarian view or something under which the property should be distributed evenly, something with extra conditions there. Like, what do you take some particular view on? Like, what exactly you have to do to come to own some resource?
Well, the original position was just mixing your labor with it, right? But now that we're living in a blank slate world, right? All the land has been deeded, and all the resources have been shelved and gated, right? Like you have to have some sort of voluntary exchange, right?
Are there any other conditions other than that?
Well, it would require a blank slate, right? Like why? Like if you get to a homestead and then no one has ever literally been there before, then yeah, I mean, like just mix your labor with it and make sure that you've got a sign somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by like an ontology. Like where is it from nature, right? Like that's always just been the body.
What?
Right? Identity. Right?
I don't know if I tracked that.
Just the abstractions from the body, right? Like so, I'm saying that positive rights are derived from negative rights, and negative rights are synonymous with property rights, right? So just owning the body, right?
What?
Are you just saying that we own our bodies or something? Or is there something further you're getting at?
That's where the starting point is.
Well, alright, right. Do you take the right to self-ownership to be universal or something?
Yes, in the sense that, like, imagine that, like, humanity was bored, right? And we went 1,000 years of slavery, and then suddenly, magically, we became free. Like, the idea would manifest again, right? Just because it is from nature. It's not from, like, from a social thing, right?
By universal there, I'm not asking if you think they're always gonna, like, arise or something. I'm just wondering if you, like, apply self-ownership across all cases. If you take a view like someone like Hume or Locke or whatever, where you think that there are certain conditions, under which the right to self-ownership could just be overridden by some other concerns.
No, I mean, give me an example where you think that would be, right? 'Cause I don't.
Presumably, like, say we had to, like, kill someone or something. Or maybe I could give you, like, a more elaborate case, right? Say that there's some, like, deadly disease or something that's, like, spreading everywhere. And it has, like, an extremely high rate of killing people. Tons of people are dying or something. And there's only, like, one way we can cure the disease, which is, like, getting a hair strand from someone who's immune. And the only person who's immune, his name is, like, Frank or whatever, right? And let's say this. So if we didn't get the cure to the disease, the whole population of the globe would be wiped out. And if we did get the cure, it would, save everyone or whatever. But let's also stipulate that Frank does not consent to giving up his strand of hair, right? So presumably he has the right to his body, on your view. Do you still think it's, like, justified or something to, like, take Frank's hair strand without his consent to, like, cure the disease?
Well, I mean, I wanted to be a realistic example because, like, with hypotheticals, you can make a hypothetical to anything, right? You can make a hypothetical that made the Holocaust okay, right? Like, just because you can make a hypothetical doesn't make it okay, right?
That's crazy. Are we going to get an answer to that hypothetical?
Well, in my world, I'd say no, right? Like, you have to persuade him to give you his hair, right? And, like, if everybody's going to die, then there would be a huge incentive to get this guy's hair, right? So, like, he could be a billionaire tomorrow.
Yeah, but he just still doesn't consent to. Like, say Frank is, like, a misanthrope, just, like, wants to see everyone die.
Then die, okay? That's all it is.
Then you're fine with the global... Okay, that's hilarious.
Then just die.
What are you trying to explain with your theory of property? if you're like not capturing any commonly held intuitions, what are you trying to do exactly?
Cartoon world, I want you all to die, okay?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. You can do, like, the low, like, 80 IQ retard move, just saying, I don't engage with hypotheticals. That's not interesting.
Who are you?
Like, look, all the philosophers are just gonna, like, sit down and engage with the hypotheticals, and you're just gonna, like, sit, like, at the bottom. You're gonna be, like,
No, I'm gonna
like the kid biting everyone's ankles.
Go back to the real world.
You're gonna be, biting everyone's ankles. You're gonna be yelling. You're just like, stop, and they're just gonna keep engaging with thought experiments.
Yeah,
because they actually understand the goals.
I'm gonna
they're not retarded
call
like
you stupid and evil, and then go back to the real world.
That's fine.
I don't think you can call someone,
I'll just stop.
like...
No, like, that's fine. You can just stop engaging with the argument. That's right. I'm just gonna run away, not engage with criticism. We're gonna go back to the real world.
So, no, but he wants to have some excuse to override someone's autonomy, right?
Telepathy. Bro,
and
don't you think that things can happen that, like, you don't think is possible now, but, like, later on you're just, like, wrong and the shit's possible? Like, you basically said, like, a hypothetical is bad because it's not realistic. It's not like the actual world. But aren't you just saying this because you have some expectation of how the world works to where you don't think this hypothetical is going to be able to happen or something? You could be wrong about that, though, right?
His hypothetical includes the possibility that he's not willing to give you a single strand of hair for $1 billion.
And
right?
Yeah,
that's stupid. Like,
maybe he wants 5 billion. Maybe he wants 20 billion. He's the only.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back. So let's go back to the original question, actually. So the original question was this: do you apply them universally? Wait, just
I don't know.
So the question. The question. Why is this guy, like, over talking? The question was originally this. So it was: do you think property?
So you are talking to.
So he's, like, running away.
By the way, Eric,
like,
you're kind of
what I'm
low.
saying when he asked me to turn down to 10%.
This is a hypothetical. It's not real life, bro.
Real. Wait, I'm just gonna, like, mute him while I make my point, so he doesn't ever talk to me.
No, it's not. The point of
So I gotta just mute him while I'm making my point. So, anyways, the original question was this: do you think that, the right to self-ownership is universal? Right. Everyone heard that question, and then you didn't understand the question. You thought the question was asking, do they naturally come about or something, or do they have some causal tendency to come about in societies or whatever, in cultures? And that's not what I was asking about. And then to illustrate what I was trying to ask you, and the reason I gave the hypothetical was to see whether or not you'd apply it across all cases. Now, what you could have said is that you restrict it to ordinary cases, that this right isn't some universal one, some like prima facie one or something like that. But no, instead, not only did he bite the bullet on the hypothetical, but then he also complained about the hypothetical. He could have just said no, I could apply them universally, but instead he chose like the level 1 like retard move. Right? He like made the 2 bad decisions at once. But yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna mute him now, and he can like cry while he has me at 10%.
Yeah, telepathy. Do people always own their bodies, or do they sometimes, or in most cases, like when do we own our bodies?
Yeah, they always do. But as I said, if you're willing to do a structured debate where you don't do ad hominems and we're able to go through it point by point, where you're not going to talk over me, I'll do that.
It's not an ad hominem. It's just an insult because you're retarded, right? If for example, if I said, "Hey, your argument is bad because you're ugly," then that's an ad hom, right? But if I just go, "You're retarded," that's just an insult, right? I'm trying to make sure we all understand here.
No,
Yeah, I mean he can act like there was just an insult, but I just gave like a lengthy explanation. He can act like I just.
Do you think that prisoners? Do you think that people?
Just someone just beat the guy. This guy's annoying. Wait, Eric, do you talk to Liam about his views of
He's like
property
so
or whatever?
dumb.
No, Liam and I have had a discussion like 50 times. Wait, let Liam talk to the guy.
What? No. This guy's annoying.
No, let him talk to the guy.
This
Come on.
Mason retard.
Oh, fine.
Anyway, what's up, Telepathy?
Don't call me Mr. Retarded. I'm muting you, by the way.
Someone's trying to mute me.
No one's muting you. No one's muting you.
They just muted me.
No, they're not going to mute you anymore. Not going to mute you.
I can just like say, see you and go to my room though, right?
Did I traumatize this guy?
Retard versus retard. Let's go.
Let's go. Turns highest IQ in the VC. Thanks. Look, Telepathy. Do you think that like prisoners own? Do you think that prisoners own themselves?
Well, that's a different thing, right? Because if you've already like committed some violent act and they've like captured you and stuff, that's like, yeah, of course, you lose the right to freedom before the right to life. Right?
So you don't think that it's? Sorry, do you think self-ownership is like an axiom or no?
It's the foundation of morality, right? Like in terms of there being an objective. I don't. What do you mean by axiom? I mean, yeah, I guess
a starting point for like all your other rights.
I guess so, but an axiom is something that you have to assume, right? Like this is beyond assumption, right? Like this is a thing that is
it's like inescapable, it's self-evident. Yeah, it's an axiom.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so I find it a little problematic when if you said that self-ownership is universal to then give me cases where it doesn't apply. Like, because presumably if you have a right to your body, you can't like be put in cages.
Well, it's contextual, right? So like if you go around trying to murder people, right? Like you can't continue doing that, right?
Depending on the particular, you either do or do not have a right to self-ownership.
Well, right, yeah. So if you've just committed murder,
just a yes or no.
No, if you've committed murder, then you will be losing the right to freedom. Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about the right to freedom. I'm saying my question was, depending on the particular, do you lose the right of self-ownership?
Yeah, there are situations.
Well, you understand that's contradictory to your answer being it's universal, right? Because to say it's universal, say that it like subsumes all the particulars.
No, I think the context is like it's a universal truth that if you start killing people, like you will lose freedom.
No. The universal thing is that you own your body.
That's the NAP. Like that. Like I understand the non-aggression principle. I understand that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about self-ownership being universal. Like obviously, self-ownership is not universal, right? Like you can be put in prison. Right? Well, it's not universal if you're going to say that there are particulars where it's not true. That's like saying swans are universally white, but context would say that some are black, and both of those statements being true.
Okay, so you're part of this other group of people that just likes calling people retarded. And no, I don't want to call you retarded.
He never called you retarded. He never even said it.
But in terms of what you just said, you're saying that if you can't have something that is independent of any context whatsoever, then it can't be universal?
No,
I'm saying
you
that
can't
if it's
say
the
that
case
something
that it doesn't
applies
change,
in all
yeah.
cases.
Well, let's keep this one-on-one.
I can look. I'm saying that if you're saying something is universal, the word universal means subsumes all the particulars, right? So if you say, I'm fine with you treating self-ownership as like a general heuristic, and it's like the default. Like, I think most people would assume that. But it's problematic to act as if self-ownership is like this universal deontic norm that you always have, when even you agree there are cases where you don't have it.
No, because of the context. You're trying to suggest that universals are always outside of context. You can't just say, like, if there is a universal context, right? If you have that context anywhere.
I'm saying that precisely because it's contextual is why it's not universal.
It's dumb.
Why is that dumb? Like literally, like watch. I'm gonna give you the parody I just gave you a second ago. Like, suppose that I say swans are universally white, but in some particular instances, in some context, swans are black. Is it not inconsistent for me to say universally swans are white, but depending on the context, they're black? You understand how that's like problematic?
It's not the same thing.
Why is it disanalogous?
Because it's not dependent on something that is outside your control, right? Like you have control, and if
No. I'm asking how is it disanalogous in terms of it being universal.
Murder people, then
how is it disanalogous? No, hold on. You're not understanding how. You're just giving me differences in the. You're giving me irrelevant differences.
Have problems for you, right?
So you're giving me irrelevant differences. I'm asking how is it different in terms of the usage of the word universal.
I don't know. To be honest, it sounds like you're part of some like social engineering thing that wants to try to.
I'm not part of the social engineering thing. I just think your view is your view doesn't make sense.
Where I do have to keep on turning my volume off because like halfway through my sentence,
you didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question.
And I'm really not interested in continuing. If you're going to do that, I did offer to have a structured debate, but that seems to be too much for you, right?
Okay, number one, you didn't offer me to have a structured debate with you. I'll be more than willing to debate you structurally if that's what you want. The reason I interrupted you is because you didn't answer my question. So I'm going to ask my question again because I wanted to avoid the needless ramble that you just gave. My question was, in terms of the usage of the word universal. You interrupted me. That's ridiculous. Wait, you just like bitched on me for interrupting, and now you're interrupting me.
I just don't.
Like what? Look, tell me how they're different in terms of the usage of the word universal. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you're stupid. And
okay, look, the retard's running away. Just
disengaging Daniel.
I'm not interested in continuing. Is someone so
Dodge number 3 in like
how am I
30 minutes.
abusing you? What are you talking about?